How's it going, everyone? King Black2 here again. Welcome to this video. We're going to go over the Scoia'tael cards, which we're going to see in the closed beta. Now, a lot of you have probably already looked at these cards and started building decks. I really want to get onto the building of decks and really give you some ideas of things that you should try and go for when the closed beta opens. But let's get started with the Scoia'tael. I want to finish these videos off. So, Scoia'tael faction card analysis. So let's go through the leader cards just as a reference. First, we've got Brouver Hoog. He is a great leader card for any purpose, really. Choose a silver card from your deck and play it. So, silver cards was always a good area to pick from, but now it's grown bigger because special cards can now be silver. So, if you've got a decoy or a Skellige storm that you really want to play, this guy will allow you to get it out whenever you want. So he's never a bad leader card unless you've pulled all 6 out in other ways, so be careful about that. But generally, he's just going to be great for any particular deck. Next, we've got Eithné. Choose any unit on your side of the battlefield and play it again. So take note, this is not copying the card. It just picks it back up and places it back down. So you get to reactivate abilities and stuff like that. So it does encompass bronze, silver or gold cards. So that's quite useful. There are some really powerful golden cards which you could pick up, place back down to reactivate their abilities. First one that comes to mind are things like Villain Trettenmerv. He scorches the strongest units 2 times in a row after 3 turns. So the 3 turns would be the issue there. You might not get that many turns in a particular round. But there's many other abilities which you would want to reuse. Again, medics, for example. There is another strategy here, which is about removing debuffs and buffs, unfortunately. So if a card, say you had Geralt, 12 strength, and the opponent had Vrihedd, who dealt 10 strength, debuff to Geralt, so your Geralt is now on 2 strength. You might be able to use her on Geralt to pick it back up, place it back down, because anytime something comes off the board via graveyard or via decoy, it loses any buffs or any debuffs that it had. Okay, so you might be able to pick up golden cards and place them back down to reset debuffs for any of your strongest cards. Now obviously, if a card has 20 strength but it's buffed, if you pick it back up and place it back down, you're going to lose the buff, so be careful about that. But this is also going to be a very, very decent card. There are some very nice cards which combo with Eithné quite well. So our third leader card is Francesca. Choose 3 cards from your hand and replace them with cards randomly drawn from your deck. And so I think this is probably the weakest out of the 3, because Brouver Hoog is amazing. Eithné could be really, really good. So this is obviously the weakest. It's basically another 3 redraws. We do know something now that we didn't before, which is they come out one at a time. So you get 1 card come out, and you get to choose what to do with it. Which one of your cards in your hand do you want to swap it with, or do you want to just discard that one back into the deck? And then your second card comes up, and you get to choose what to do with that. So it comes out in a very ordered fashion, which means you don't have to do it all in one go. So it is slightly better than a normal redraw phase, but again, still probably the weakest. I don't think you'll see too many people take this, just for the fact that all you're actually getting is an optimal hand, and there are other cards which can help with that, which are not necessarily as good as the potential of Brouver Hoog and Eithné. So probably won't see too much play, but you never know. So we have Nature's Gift, which is a Scoia'tael only silver special card. Create and play a copy of the last special card played. Now this is quite important. You will probably see this in a lot of Scoia'tael decks, and I think as an opponent you will have to work around this, try and prevent it from being any good. So obviously as a Scoia'tael player you want to get things like decoys, you want to duplicate your decoy, you want to duplicate any other really cool special cards like Scorch and Commander's Horn, these types of things. And as an opponent you will want to make sure that you place down a Biting Frost or something when you think this might be the next card they're going to play, so that if they do play it, it will just produce another Biting Frost which is useless to them. So it's going to be really, really an important card for Scoia'tael, I think, anyway. So following on from Nature's Gift and the special cards it can duplicate, there seems to be an obvious Scoia'tael archetype coming out, which has a lot of special cards driven combos, and you're going to see most of these cards all in this big first part. So the first one is Hawker Support. 2 strength bronze card with the Agile ability. Whenever a special card is played, add 3 strength to this unit. That goes for your opponent as well. The opponent will obviously want to try and deal with this very, very quickly. And we do know that if, say, they do an epidemic, then it's going to take this unit off the board first before this guy gets buffed. So the special card played takes effect before it removes this, because otherwise this could get out of epidemic range while they played it, which is really confusing. But it's going to be a very integral card, I think. Special cards we're hopefully going to play quite a lot in this particular archetype. There's a lot of cards to play special cards and deal with them, so it's going to be very, very important. And it's got the agile ability, so it doesn't necessarily mean you have to build around a certain row, which is really just relieving, really. It gives you a lot of freedom on where to place this guy. Next, we've got the Elven Mercenary, which you've seen before. 3 strength bronze card for Scoia'tael only, and it has the agile ability again. So really kind of gratifying. It's just that you can choose what row you go on. If the opponent has a very siege orientated deck and is using weathers on the other 2, you can go to siege as well and not have to worry as much. Play a random special card from your deck. So again, this is going to be great. Now during the Kill the Server stress test, this was pretty bad, but that was mainly due to the special card composition. Now you can build your own decks. I don't think there's a limit on how many special cards you can have, but you want to limit them, if you're taking this card, to cards which are not going to hurt you. Things like Alzor's Thunder, which allows you to target a particular card. You've got things like Stammelford's Tremors. You've got Lacerate. These either do the opponent's side or you get to choose. You know, there's quite a few special cards which are not ever going to be bad, like Scorch would be. You might want to take a Scorch. It is now a silver card, so if you do plan to take a Scorch and use this card, make sure you Brouver Hoog the Scorch out first. You might have to delay these particular cards to get that Scorch out first, just so it doesn't hit your own people. Or alternatively, only play this guy when you know that a Scorch would be okay for you. But it's going to be integral to getting those special guards out in this particular archetype, these guys. So we've got the Vrihedd Sappers, 4 strength bronze card with the agile ability as well. So it says loyal, disloyal. I think it's mainly disloyal reading its ability. Whenever a special card is played, remove 2 strength from all non-gold units on the row, including this unit. So this card will effectively take off 4 strength, okay, from everything on its row, and then it'll get destroyed. You might be able to buff it in some way. I'm not really seeing a way. You might, I mean, Yennefer manages to buff the opponent's row, but I don't think that's worth it, given +2 to this guy, because he's just going to take it off again. So if you can buff this guy just on his own, then it's really going to hurt your opponent a lot if you can manage to buff him, because then he's going to be able to remove 2 strength from everything on that row just a lot more often. So it's going to be very, very important to be able to remove strength from the opponent while still playing special cards, which will hopefully probably remove a lot more strength, or maybe you could do swallow potions and stuff to boost your own strength. So next we've got Emean, which is a 5 strength silver card for Scoia'tael, has the agile ability. It says it's loyal / disloyal. I'm not sure why it says that, but I think it's something to do with being able to play cards face down. A lot of the face cards down will have that particular loyalty. Play face down, reveal when any special card is played and cancel its effect. So the loyalty doesn't seem to matter. You'd obviously want to play it on your side for the 5 strength, so it's a bit confusing. It doesn't seem to need a particular row. It just says when any special card is played. And also, it doesn't seem to state whether it's only your opponents or both. It just say any. So a lot of people were asking about whether your own special cards can trigger this. I would hazard a guess to say yes, but I don't have a confirmation on that. It's just a risk reward that you'll have to worry about when you play the card. You know, you prevent yourself from playing any special cards in the near future until your opponent triggers it. And it's going to be a really powerful card. I'm liking this card for skillful plays. So obviously you want to stop one of these really crazy Commander's Horns, which could win the game. Maybe Scorches, so place this down, and then place down your highest strength minion. And then if the opponent Scorches it, then you're away, you know, good game. So I really like this card. I think it's going to be quite vital to a lot of Scoia'tael decks which really control the opponent in some way. So next we've got Aglaïs, which is a 7 strength golden card with Agile. So in this particular archetype, you can clearly see Agile is a huge deal. It really allows the Scoia'tael player to play by ear. They can react to anything, any weathers, they can really react to it. Obviously, they've got to be careful if they plan to buff particular rows with things like the Hawker Healer, but it gives them a lot of freedom, which is really nice. Choose a special card from either graveyard and play it. So this would allow you to obviously replay a second decoy, and with Nature's Gift you could even triple that into a third decoy. You could get 2 Scorches, 2 Commander's Horns, providing your opponent has played it, or if you've played it. So she is amazingly good. I mean, seriously, amazingly good. If that just wasn't good enough for you, she is seriously, ultimately mega good. Okay, so she's really powerful. Really, really strong. So it comes out of either graveyard, your opponent's or yours. And that comes onto this next card. Isengrim, a 6 strength golden card, has the agile ability again, once more. Remove all special cards in your graveyard from the game and create and play a Commando Neophyte for each. So we know Commando Neophyte is 2 strength. There is an archetype revolving around the Commando Neophyte. So you might be able to mix these 2 archetypes together quite nicely, possibly. And it removes all special cards from your graveyard. So if you were going to use her to pull some out of your own graveyard, you want to use her first, but that means he's going to get a little bit weaker. Alternatively, just pull some out of your opponent's graveyard, and then he's not going to change really. You're not going to have the opportunity to reuse something from your graveyard. But regarding Aglaïs, she can be used twice if you take the Eithné leader card that we discussed, which can pick her up, place her back down, and you get to choose another special card from your graveyard. So this means, so her plus a decoy plus Eithné leader card plus Nature's Gift means you could have 4 decoys if you so choose. Okay, the same thing with Scorches. Scorch plus Aglaïs. So you play the Scorch, you play Aglaïs, that's 2 Scorches. You play the Nature's Gift, that's 3 Scorches. You play Eithné to replay Aglaïs, that's 4 Scorches. So Scoia'tael really has the complete dominance on whatever they want in terms of special cards. So they could choose card advantage with decoy if they so choose, which is some really powerful abilities coming out. Or they could choose, you know, board control with Scorches. They could choose pure strength with Commander's Horns. So massive dominance with Aglaïs in that respect as well.